Please don't mind, ladies and gentlemen. Hi everyone. Hi. You all good? Lovely, lovely to be here. I'm looking forward to this all day. Then again, my highlight of the day so far was going to collect my duffel coat from the dry cleaners. I won't bore you with the backstory, but it was covered in ketchup. And he looked a bit shifty from the minute I walked in. He went, well, we tried 3 detergents, didn't want to try a 4th for fear of damaging the fabric. I was like, well, was one of the detergents ketchup? Because it still looks exactly the same as when I bought it in. And then I went down to Wilkinson's. You know Wilkinson's? It's like the Doctor Who of shops. It was Woolworths, and it regenerated. And I bought myself some 1001 spray cleaner. Just cleaned it up in about a minute. Oh yeah, there's no joke to that. It just occurred to me on the drive up here, if I talk about it on stage, then the dry cleaning bill becomes a tax-deductible business expense. And I win. Another victory for the ward. I'm a very petty man. I know I'm a very petty man because I enjoy driving down the motorway squirting my windscreen wiper fluid. Not because my windscreen's dirty, I just like seeing the person behind me having to use their windscreen wipers. Sometimes it creates a knock-on effect and I feel that I'm at the front of some sort of motorcade. It's pretty good. Got to keep an eye on the time though, because I'm parked in the NCP car park, and if this slips over into hour 4, I quite literally have to declare myself bankrupt. So no encores tonight, I'm afraid, guys. No encores. No. But it is lovely to be here. I'm from the mean streets of Plymouth, Devon, myself. Anyone in from the mean streets of Plymouth, Devon? It's pretty unlikely, to be honest. But I now live in London, and recently, because it was half-term, a friend of mine from Plymouth, his little son Ollie wanted to come and visit me because he wanted to go to the Science Museum in London. Has anyone here been to the Science Museum? Yeah. It is the most discombobulating experience. To see the first mobile phone you ever bought displayed as a relic behind glass. It's like, I'm not that old, it's not that old, and the thing is, it's not there to be looked at and admired like some sort of ancient treasure of the pharaohs. It's there so that all the kids on the school trips can just point at it and laugh. And they're all just laughing, and I made myself a promise right there and then, ladies and gentlemen. Just gonna stop recycling. Fuck them, they can deal with the future themselves, little shits. Maybe I enjoyed pulling up the aerial before I made a phone call. Maybe I enjoyed pressing the number 8 4 times. I wanted to use a cue in a text message. And I tell you something, if I wanted to see a load of old mobile phones displayed behind glass, I didn't have to queue up for 2 hours. I could on down to fucking cash converters on the high street. He's laughing at me, he's laughing at me. He's going, is that really your first mobile phone? I said, yeah. He goes, you're so old-fashioned. I thought, bloody hell, the Walkmans are next. Walk people, it's 2016. But I thought, what's he going to think when he finds out that my first Walkman didn't even have a rewind button? If you wanted to listen to the same song again, you had to open it up, take the tape out, turn it over, press fast forward, hope you hit the sweet spot. And I was explaining this, and it felt like I was explaining how humanity first created fire. Didn't have a rewind button. What it did have was a little switch where you could flip between mono and stereo. For all those people listening in stereo going, ooh, that's too good quality for me. The future can wait. It's one of these low-ceilinged gigs, isn't it? And I remember vividly buying my first Walkman. It was the Albert C69, and I bought it with the proceeds of £20 in an envelope for Auntie Margaret Christmas. You could take your watch for £20 in an envelope from Auntie Margaret at Christmas. No, it was the C69, and I bought it in Argos. And what I remember thinking, I turned to little Ollie, because looking around, everyone will remember this, but little Ollie had no idea that it was only quite recently that Argos introduced the ability to stock check on the shop floor before you queued up to see if what you wanted was available. And I remember vividly Christmas after birthday after Christmas after birthday, queuing up sometimes 25, 30 minutes, not knowing if what you wanted was actually available. And I don't blame the people who work in Argos, because I can't help thinking that their job satisfaction level isn't that high. But I can't help thinking that they used to deliberately ramp up your hopes in order to knock them back down again. So you'd be queuing up there with your little chitty and you'd hand it over, so you go, so, catalogue number 561875? Yeah! Real Ghostbusters Stay Puft Marshmallow Man toy? Yeah! With bonus tub of slime and Winston said what action figure? Yeah! Yeah! £12.99? Yeah! That's nice. Stop, mate. And then we got to the VHS players, and of course the most curious thing about this is that little Ollie had never been brought up in a house with a VHS player. And I went on this trip down memory lane, remembering the excitement, the anticipation that came with video shop night. Do you know what I mean? Like, none of this Netflix, like if you're not into it after 10 minutes, I'm just straight on to the next thing. Whatever you rented on video shop night, you fucking tied in to watch it. And you'd be going, you got between 7 and 7:15, because 7 o'clock was drop off, by 7:15 anything would be out, and it'd be £1.50, £2 for a new release, and you'd hand over your money, like, yes! And you'd get home, but you went out of the woods, because there's every chance that when you popped the video into the player, the whole thing was jumping down, like someone having a stroke. But that was okay, that was okay, because if that happened, there was something you could do. You could adjust the tracking! Yeah! Woo! You could adjust the tracking. Then you could go up to the heath at midnight and bevy a sixpence, and that would be about as useful. Google placebo effect, right? There'll just be a picture of someone going with a remote control. It's getting better, it's getting better. It's never getting better. But of course there was one thing you could do, right? There was one other ace up your sleeve, and that is if adjusting the tracking didn't work, there was one more thing you could do. You could get onto all fours, you could crawl towards the video, you could press eject, pull out the tape, push open the little flap, and just go... Because as we all know, mechanical engineering is only ever improved by a smattering of spittle and hot breath. Laughing at me, he was a little shit. Laughing at me, right? So as we were walking past the mini-disc players, which I'm not really ready to talk about just yet, right? I thought I'd just play a little trick on him. So I said, you know what, Ollie? All this new technology is fantastic. But of course, the trouble is, not in my lifetime, but definitely in yours, computers will become sentient, machines will take over, and you will become part of a human slave race. He looked a bit edgy, and I said, yeah, look, we'll go home later. I'll show you this documentary I've got about it. It's called Terminator. On VHS, you little shit. But actually, do you know what? I'm not, it is coming. It's all coming. That is our future. We're waiting for it. The computers will take over, right? But I'm not worried about it just yet. And I won't be worried until you can't bamboozle a computer by confusing it when you try and save a file name on Microsoft Office using a piece of punctuation. If that's what it takes, we're safe for now. You bring your Skynet, I'll bring my machine-gun, exclamation mark. See you later. That's an attempt to mend a watch there with a cable tie that's really gone quite awry. It's one of those ones you can't take off, so that'll just have to flap about now. You work for 20 minutes a night. I mean, that's nuts, isn't it? And you can't quite get it right. But yeah, so where was so basically, right, I'm not concerned about computers taking over just yet. But what I am concerned about is that if ever I get called upon to save the world using my decrepit laptop, right? Like, I was watching this movie the other day, dead common Hollywood trope. You all have seen something like it, right? Where there's a guy and he's got to like defuse a bomb using a computer, and he's pretty good at it. He's got a real techno geek in his ear telling him what to do. So it's a bit like, okay, open up a secure socket. It's done. Now bypass the mainframe. It's done. Now load up the latest schematics. It's done. Now switch off vector 629, but be quick, you've only got 4 seconds. Beep, 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 boo! You did it! Guys, if ever I get called upon to save the world using my laptop, we're all fucked. Okay, Danny, the nuclear reactor's about to melt down, you gotta get online! Okay, just firing up the old laptop. Initiating updates 1 of 17, that's gonna... Okay, it's asking for my password. Oh my God, someone's hacked in, someone's changed my password. Oh no, sorry, caps lock's on. Okay, here we go. Ding! Oh, that's Skype loading up automatically at the beginning. I'm gonna work out how to switch that off. Danny, you gotta get online. Okay, I'm opening up Internet Explorer. It won't open. It's opened 8 times. Okay, go to www.nucleardisengagement.org. Okay. Oh my God, Dan, you under attack from a helicopter? No, the fans kicked in. There's a video on the home screen. But this will just summarise this, what I feel about this new technology, please. Is anyone here? Oh, that's not good English. Is anyone in this room here last year about something called the Rosetta probe, right? This will blow your minds. About 10 years ago, scientists identified this comet about 4 billion miles away from planet Earth. And they realised that this comet was created at the very moment of the Big Bang. And they realised, therefore, that this comet was made up of the most ancient matter in existence. And if they could examine this comet, they might be able to answer some of those questions that have eluded us since the beginning of time. Only trouble is, there isn't a rocket that can fire a probe that far into space. But that didn't worry them, because this is what they did, right? They threw it into space on a rocket, boom, and then they used the gravitational pull of Mars to boom, slingshot it further. 3 years later, same trick ran an asteroid. Boom, 2 years after that, same trick ran another asteroid. Boom, and then it went to stasis. For 32 months, continued its journey with the endless darkness of space. And then last year it woke up, and travelling at a speed of 135,000 kilometers an hour. This probe released a microsatellite the size of a dishwasher. And this microsatellite docked onto the comet at precisely the point where the scientists pinpointed 10 years before. And as I was listening to that, I was trying and failing to untangle a pair of iPhone headphones. And I thought, I've slipped behind here and I don't think I'm going to be able to catch up. It's hard to make a living out of stand-up comedy when you aspire to the lavish lifestyle that I do. 3 meals a day, a Netflix subscription, and a watch that stays on your wrist. So I'll take whatever work comes my way, right? And I was recently approached by a company that deliver motivational workshops in schools, right? And the guy who booked me said, this is what you do before you do the workshop, okay? Get yourself a load of lollipops. That way, when you ask a question in the workshop, hand goes up, chuck him out a lollipop. Next time you ask a question, all the hands fly up, right? So I went down to the cash and carry. And you know Chupa Chups? You know they're like the Rolls Royce of boiled sweets on a stick. I bought myself a Chupa Chup tree, 200 Chupa Chups on it, right? I paid £25, street value about 60. Now, the school is all the way out in West Wales, right? So I get to this school in West Wales, I sat up in a school hall, much like this, do the first hour, everything's going great, we have a break, I get taken to the staff room, leaving the Chupa Chup tree unattended in the school hall. What happened next? Autumn came early, and when I returned to the school hall, all 200 Chupa Chups had been raped and pillaged from the Chupa Chup tree. Which of course I thought was quite funny, but to the school it represented an egregious lack of respect to a visiting guest. So when the teacher saw what had happened, and I should at this point mention it was a Welsh-speaking school, all I could hear was... Chupa Chups. Danny Ward. CCTV. Like it was some sort of crime scene. And then the headmaster gets wind of it, comes in to deliver a public apology, and says, rest assured, there will be an investigation. And I thought, I'm a 35-year-old man who's just bought 200 lollipops into a school. I hope the investigation doesn't go too deep. And he said, I will be sending you a letter of apology. I was like, mate, I don't want anything in writing. And that was the Friday, and I remember it was the Friday because it was comic relief night, and morale in the school was quite low because they banned red noses. There was a child in year 9 with a latex allergy. I mean, better you find out then than 20 years later in a dungeon, I suppose, right? That was the Friday, and on the Saturday night I had a gig in Cardiff. So like on the Friday night I had to look after myself, right? And I was paying, so it's hi-ho to the Travelodge we go. You know the Travelodge? Not so much a hotel, more like a sleep factory. Turn up, do your 8 hours, keep your head down, get the fuck out. But I'm not sure if you've ever been to Cardiff on a weekend, but it's festooned with stag and hen do's. So the only Travelodge I could find was in the motor services on the M4 on the outskirts of Cardiff. So I turn up on the Friday night, but the trouble is I don't have my confirmation email because I've been using my iPhone for 4 minutes and the battery was dead. And the guy behind the counter said, "That's all right, Mr. Ward, but have you got any ID?" It's like, any ID? Is it possible that someone might be committing identity theft so that they could spend their Friday night in a Travelodge in the services on the M4 on the outskirts of Cardiff? No, there's no motive. If you commit identity theft and get caught, your punishment should be to spend your Friday night in a Travelodge in the services on the M4 on the outskirts of Cardiff. I'm not sure if you're afraid of the location of Travelodges, but very often next to a Toby Carvery. You know the Toby Carvery? It's like a soup kitchen for people who aren't actually homeless. Can split the crowd, that one. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to go and have a carvery. Because it's a toss-up, isn't it, between crying yourself to sleep and eating yourself to death. And I'm in the queue for the carvery. And this is the only time I'll mention this, right? But I've got a bad back. I've got a massive disc prolapse between L5 and S1, right? I slipped on a mop. In my defence, it was a steam mop of the future, but mop nonetheless. And it's when I'm standing still that the pain becomes the most acute. I get this searing sciatica shooting down my side, as painful as it is alliterative. And I'm reticent to call him the chef. He's the guy in charge of chopping up the meats, right? He's become a bit overzealous and he's gone and cut his fingers. He's had to go and get one of them blue plasters. And he's taking so long, we're all waiting for so long, I'm standing still for so long, the pain becomes so bad, my eyes start watering. Guy in the queue in front of me turns around, he sees this, he goes, "Cheer up, mate, it might never happen." And I thought, I'm crying in a queue in the Toby Carvery on the outskirts of Cardiff. If this isn't it happening, stick me in the oven with the other 4 meats. And the thing about the Toby Carvery is it's not an all-you-can-eat. It's a slight semantic difference. It's an all-you-can-fit on your plate. And people go about building these plates with the architecture and engineering skill of Balfour Beatty. A single floret of broccoli in the wrong place, and the whole thing comes crashing down like food Jenga. And once you've eaten this plate of food that oftentimes is bigger than yourself, they then invite you to peruse the dessert menu. And I'd just like to share with you one of the desserts they sell at the Toby Carvery. I had to write it down, otherwise I didn't think you'd believe it. It's called the Yorkie Puds Pud. The Yorkie Puds Pud. Yorkshire puddings with a delicious difference. 4 crispy Yorkies drizzled with a butterscotch sauce and served with dairy ice cream, sprinkled with chocolate-covered popping candy, served with a British blackcurrant compote and a Belgian chocolate dipping sauce. That ain't pudding. That is dessert Tourette's. There is only one of two possible ways that this ever came into existence. Number one, I'm on a quiz show, and the host says to me, for £1 million, name a popular dessert, and I've just fucking panicked. Or, number two, they've gone to Broadmoor for their inspiration. Hello, gents. Just a different kind of workshop for you this afternoon. We've got a couple of representatives here from the Toby Carvery. Just want to throw out a couple of feelers about what kind of dessert you might like. Finally, someone fucking asked. Oh, you want to hear about dessert? I'll tell you about dessert. I want mustard. I want mustard custard. And I want roast potato and upside down pineapple cake. And I want Yorkshire puddings. There's a clue in naming the puddings. And I want covered in chocolate. But gotta be fucking Belgium. And I want a corn pot. And I want even more chocolate, but not just any old chocolate. That chocolate I used to have as a kid. They went pop, fucking pop, fucking pop, fucking pop, fucking pop. I mean, they're bloody delicious. Hey, that's it for me, guys. Thanks very much indeed.